today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the DC Collectibles, DC Comics Icons Batman. Batman is figure number 1 and comes to us from this new line of Icons figures from the folks over at DC Collectibles. He comes with a ton of different accessories, comes with a pair of interchangeable hands, and more. Spin around the back of the package. The other figures in this line are Mr. Miracle, we've got Green Arrow, Deadman, and Batman. Sculpted by Paul Harding as well. Designed by Ivan Rice. Spot's going to take a break. I'm going to get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look of the DC Comics new Icons number 1, Batman. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. This was a particular line that Spot was really excited when I saw the news of. It was essentially going to be DC Collectibles' take on the very popular DC Universe line, in the fact that they were going to be giving us a whole ton of new figures with new sculpts, new articulation, and accessories. Now I have Batman in hand. I'm overall pretty impressed with it. There's one problem I have with the figure, but for the most part, very, very happy with how he turned out. Okay, so let's get the elephant out of the way right away. The one problem I have with this figure, if I could say anything, the head sculpt is good. I like the short ears, but I find the flesh color on his face is way too red. Or it's almost the coloring of what, if you were to, when you were younger, try to color in a face and use the flesh colored marker. You know what I'm talking about? It's never quite that right color. It kind of looks like that. If not for that, I would say the rest of the figure is stellar. It just seems like that. It's very glaring, how stark, how strong that flesh color is. It doesn't actually look as bad in camera, but in person, it actually does come across pretty strong. They've opted for the blue and gray treatment for his outfit. I wonder if this will be a precursor maybe to giving us a black cape, black cowl, boots, and gloves and boots. So maybe we might get a variant to this. I mean, it's the perfect body, really, to be giving us a new Batman down the road, maybe just with different colors. His face and body and all the sculpt is quite good. I don't really have any complaints at all with the outfit or how he ended up coming out. They've also given him a much broader bat emblem. I like the choice of emblem too that they gave him. Bigger, bulkier utility belt. He does appear small though. The figures, the icons as a whole, are smaller figures. They're not as big as the previous released DC Collectibles, really any of the lines, DC Collectibles lines. Just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about, we put him next to Robin, and Robin's not a tall figure to start off with, but you can kind of see how much bigger he is than the animated series Robin. Or as another example, here he is next to the animated series, let's just reach off camera, animated series Joker. Just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, they're a lot smaller in scale. I like the cape. It doesn't have any crazy sculpt to it. It just billows down, just comes straight down, so no issues there at all. Batman comes with a ton of different accessories. Comes with 2 different hands. Well, it comes with one pair of hands that you see on him, which are closed fists, but then he also comes with a pair of open hands, a left and the right. Go ahead and wiggle the hands off, pop them off their sockets, plug the new hands in, which likely will just be the default hands I'm going to go to every single time. I can't see myself, especially when you get a closed-fisted figure hand on the character as a default, I usually end up just swapping it out and giving him the open hands. That way, if I ever decide I want to display him with accessories, I can just do that. 2 accessories he comes with, 2 the exact same accessories. He comes with 2 batarangs. So he's got 2 hands. He's got 2 batarangs, although they don't sit very well in his hand. You have to apply a little bit of, there we go, a little bit of pressure to get them less sticking out. You have to almost have Batman holding them at midpoint to get them to properly stay in his hand. But they do a good job of staying in Batman's hands once they're there. The other accessory, and the larger of the accessories, Batman also comes with a grapple gun, or a zipline gun, or a little grapple hook. It's interesting. Let's put Batman there for a second. Get him to stand. It's odd that they would have gone this route for a grapple gun. It's more like a grapple hook. As you can see, it does extend out, and there's a little cord that goes with it. On the end there is a stopper, so it's not going to go anywhere else, and then you can bring this back. This is a very old concept for an accessory. You can also see how Batman holds it too. He holds it as if he's not necessarily shooting it as a gun. He's almost holding it like he's going to be zip lining across the top of a building. And it's pre-sculpted, it's pre-molded into his hand. So we have to wiggle Batman's hand off once again and swap it out for this new hand. And you can kind of see, like, theoretically, he would be holding it more so like this as he's getting across the top of a line and maybe swinging it that way. You don't see a lot of this kind of stuff incorporated with figures anymore. It just seems more borderline of a kid toy to include something like that. I'm surprised we didn't just get a grapple gun or stuff along that nature. When it comes to his posability, he has a fair bit actually. His head is on a ball joint, but very limited by what movement you can get from it. Shoulders hinge out, and they would rotate all the way around, but his cape kind of obstructs a little bit of that. A swivel point at the top of the bicep area. He has a double bend elbow, a hinge, and rotation in the hand. He has the upper torso crunch, which also looks like it's a ball joint. It's actually more a ball joint than it is a hinge joint. But then he's got a secondary crunch near what appears to be the bottom, almost where the ab area is. There's a second crunch there. So a ball joint at the top, a crunch right near the utility belt. Legs finally on a very nice ball joint. There's no issues moving the legs there. He's got a double hinge knee. He's got a hinge in the foot. I wonder that perhaps the reason why they are a little smaller in scale boils down to licensing. Enough collectors know now that with most toy companies, a way to get around licensing is to figure out what size a current company is releasing their figures as. It's likely that because Mattel still holds the reins of, DC related figures, that companies such as DC Collectibles and NECA just find ways around it. They scale them either higher or they scale them lower. DC Collectibles opted clearly for a smaller scale Batman. It may not fit necessarily in with other Batman figures that you have, which tend to be more on a 6-inch. I feel like this is probably closer to like a 5-inch, 5.5-inch. He may not fit in well with the others, but if DC Collectibles continues to release more than just this wave, which it looks like they are, I'm okay having this as a brand new collection. I have such fond memories of the DC Universe line that hopefully we can get something similar from DC Collectibles. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the DC Collectibles new DC icons. We're looking at figure number 1, Batman. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. We're also going to have a look at the other DC icon figures, so stay tuned for those videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.